I'm Neil from Board Game Happy, and thank you very much for joining me today on this review of DorfRomantik. This is a cooperative tile-laying game with legacy campaign elements from Pegasus Spiel, based on the computer game, one of which I haven't played. I came into this not knowing what to expect, looking forward to playing it. I do like tile-laying game. I really like campaign legacy games, so let me show you how it plays very briefly without any spoilers, and then we'll come back up and I'll let you know my final thoughts. Okay, cheers! Okay, first thing I want to show you is how you score at the end of each round. At the end of each round, you're going to score your tasks. In the very basic game, you're going to score your tasks for each of these regions. So that's the forests, the fields, the villages, the tracks, and the rivers, streams. And then you're going to get a total there. You're then also going to score for flags in your completed areas. So for each of these three areas here, when you've got a flag in them, I'll show you in a minute, when you complete that area, close it off, you're going to score points for them. You're also going to score for your longest train track and your longest stream. That will give you a total there. You'll write the total down there. And then that will be how the basic game plays. You will see there is a lot to unlock and to score additional things. I will not discuss any of these things now. I'm not spoiling it by showing you this. This is available as soon as you open the box, so you are aware of what you can unlock. But that will give you a score. Now, with that score, you go to your main achievement sheet. You find your score on the left-hand side. And depending on what it is, so let's say you got 115, you round that down to 110, you're a fisherwoman apparently, and you get 3 X's. With those X's, you start off at this start space here and you go along. And as you go along, you will unlock, as soon as you go into one of these spaces, you've unlocked it. You get to open box 1. And as you can see, there's box 2, and then you get these achievement cards. You get this. I won't explain that right now. I don't want to explain any of these things. I want you to discover it for yourself. But basically, as you can see, you're going to be achieving a lot. You will also see that they're expecting you to get 400 points at some point. You need to be getting 400 points. That'd be amazing. There are also a list of all the different things you can unlock and at what point you unlocked it. You write down here at what game you got these scores. You also write down over here at what game you unlocked these different things. Okay, very, very briefly, how you play the game with no spoilers, with nothing that's been unlocked. So this is the game set up before you even started. You have here the task tokens, you have the task tiles, and you have the landscape tiles. All of these landscape and task tiles must always be touching each other. They must be touching each other in a way such as, for example, that they can't be half on, half off. So as you can see, they will they're hexagons and they must always be touching one side to another. You can't place one there and one over there, for example. They always has to be touching a previously placed tile. At the beginning of the game, you must reveal 3 of these task tiles. So you turn one over, you find the symbol, which is the forest, and you place that on there. That now means to complete this task, I need to have 5 forests connected to this one. So I have to take over another one. I mean, that's a bit of fortuitous luck. That's another forest one, so I would put that there. That requires 4. So this one already has 2, and this one already has 2. So that's going to be good for me later on. This is a village one. Now, I could place that there because, with the exception of streams and tracks, anything else can be placed next to anything. So this grain can be placed next to these forests, or it could just place next to this grass. This village could be placed here, but you wouldn't want to do that. That would be daft. So what I'm going to do is going to place this one here, turn over this one, and that requires 6. So once I've got 3 task tiles out, I then start taking the landscape tiles. If ever I complete a task tile, I then need to take a new task tile. So let me have a few goes. I'll show you what I do. So that's got some water. So very quickly, briefly with water, it cannot go like that. It can only go into itself. So let's put that one there. And then we've got train tracks. Once again, train tracks can't go like that. They can only go into themselves. So let's do that there. Okay, brilliant. This is a flag. I mentioned that earlier on in the scoring. The way you score these is for completed areas. So this would be in forest area. So I can add it to here, which is what I need to do anyway, because this needs 4 and 5. This now makes 3 forest areas. At the end of the game, if this forest area is completely enclosed, in other words, well, I'll try and get to that point. I mean, that's 40. I haven't set it up like that. That's just unbelievably lucky. So let's carry on for a second. That is now a 4 forest area. This task is now completed. I move this to my scoring area. I take over a new one. This is a 5 wheat. So this is really good because that's already free. So if I add that, say, for example, to there, that now makes that a 5. So we've now still got 3 there. Let's carry on. Another village one and water. Let's just move that one up there. That's a village flag. So we add that one to there. Train track. Another forest. Fantastic. Okay, so that's now completed my 5 forest. I turn over a new task tile. It's a water one and it requires 6. So we can put that there. And then you just carry on. If ever you were to reveal a task tile, so for example, let's find it, 4. And let's find another forest one. I've got another forest one there in the box. But let's say, for example, this was already a 4. Let's say that was, that's not a 4. Let's say that was already a 4. And the next one I revealed was this one. I am not allowed to deliberately fail this task because if I add this here, there's 5 already. So that would be a failure. So I can't put that one in there. But what you can do as the game progresses, if, say, for example, you have a 4 water, no, actually leave that there, 6 water, and you manage to have a water that closes off, which does deliberately finish that one. As long as it's an already placed task tile that you're failing, you're allowed to do that. You're just not allowed to fail a task when you're placing it for the very first time. So I hope that gives you a very, very brief overview as to how the game plays. You will keep on going until either you run out of landscape tiles and then you'll do the final scoring, or you manage to complete all of the task tiles or all of the ones and then run out of landscape tiles and then you'll do the scoring. So anyway, that's a very, very brief overview of how you play. There are a few more rules, but I didn't want to go into too much detail because I didn't want to have to start explaining the unlockables and all of the extra ways of scoring. But I hope that gives you a very brief idea of how to play. Just wanted to quickly show you what a completed area looks like in relation to the flags. So you can see I've got 2 flags in this forest area and there is no forest bleeding out, shall we say, into any other areas. It's all completely enclosed in. There's no forest going out further. So that would be a completed forest flag area and I would be getting 1 point per flag per tile. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It'll be worth 12 points as I have 2 flags. All right, thanks for watching the how to play. It's a very basic how to play because I didn't want to spoil anything. There is so much to unlock in this game, and this brings me on to one of my very first positives, which is the amount there is to unlock and how quickly you unlock it. The progression feels constant. You're always, oh, I only need a couple more crosses just to get that. Let's go, one more game. That's amazing. The games are also super quick, 15 to 20 minutes for each game, depending on how much you think about where you're going to place things. So that's brilliant. So you can, in an hour and a half, you can play a good 3-4 games easily with the setup and teardown time. So that's absolutely fantastic. The game starts really nice and easy, and it builds up at a really good constant pace. You never feel overwhelmed. Each time a new rule or scoring mechanism is introduced, you take it in straight away because you've already encompassed all of the other things that you need to do. That's brilliant. One game is never enough. Don't set this up for one game. You will not play just one game. You will play numerous games. It's absolutely fantastic. And one of the biggest positives for me on this is it's a completely resettable campaign, and you can also be running multiple campaigns at the same time if you wanted to play with different people. Really clever. I love how the boxes are presented and all the little things you get to unlock within it. So it's absolutely brilliant. A couple of negatives. This says 1 to 6 players. There is no way I'm ever going to play this with 6 players. This is a solo or a lovely 2-player game. 2-player co-op where you can both sit around the table nice and close. If you get to 3, 4, 5 would be crazy, and 6, you're literally going to turn over a tile and then everyone's going to discuss where they should put it. 2 or 3 of those people are going to be left out of the conversation. It's not a 6-player game. This is a solo or a 2-player game, absolutely. One other negative is just the luck of the draw. You can turn over a tile and it just doesn't match, or it really scuppers something else you're trying to do. But that's okay because it's just the luck of the draw. The next draw could be absolutely amazing, or the next game, you could have one really terrible game and get quite a low score. The next game could be absolutely amazing. So obviously you have a lot of agency over where you place the tiles, but if you turn over the wrong tile very early on in the beginning of the game, it can make it quite difficult, especially with my last negative point here with the rivers and the tracks. If you turn over a couple of rivers and tracks right at the start of the game, you will be constantly trying to evolve those issues rather than, or sort of just resolve those issues, rather than trying to build up your nice village and all the other things you're trying to do. So, but that's just the way it is with these kind of games, with these kind of tile laying games. It is just the luck of the draw. But they're only very minor. Don't take them into any negative things, because I give this game a 90 to 95% rating. It's absolutely fantastic. I love it. Within the first 3 days of owning this game, I'd played 14 games. And it constantly felt like I was getting progressively better. You can definitely see the computer game DNA in this game. The way the achievements go, it's like a little ting going off in your head. Brilliant, I've unlocked something new. Let's play again. Let's see what this new thing does. Absolutely fantastic. I really love this. When I've finished it, I will continue playing it. I will reset it to play with new people. More than happy to do that. But I will also continue just trying to get the best high score I can. So I really, really highly recommend DorfRomantik. If you can get this game, get it. It's fantastic. If you like tile laying games, get it. If you like campaign legacy games, but you don't like the ones that take too long, get this game. Absolutely brilliant. So I hope you've enjoyed my review. Thank you very much for watching. As I say, I'm Neil from Board Game Happy. Find me on Twitter at Board Game Happy and Instagram at Board Game Happy. I'm also on Board Game Arena if you ever fancy a game, which is Neil BG Happy. I write reviews for Zatu. You can see all my reviews on there. But I hope you enjoyed the review for DorfRomantik. Go out, get this game. Let me know what you think in the comments. Anyway, many thanks. Cheers.